I'd like to thank the grace of heaven, virtues of the masters, compassion of our grand predecessors, transmitters, lecturers, and everyone in this class for giving me this opportunity to share today's topic on Cultivate the Tao to change our fate. Holy Teacher says, every sentient being's fate is predetermined based on our karmas. As soon as we are born, our life's destiny has already been set because fate arranges one's life. The composition of fate is the driving power of karma. It is also the burden of one's previous life's deeds. What obstacles we have to go through in life, what happiness we will have, whether we are going to be rich or poor, what family and friends we are born into, these are all predestined. Therefore, there's no need to go to a fortune teller or a card reader to give us the information. Some people will pay a high price to go to a famous fortune teller or a palm reader every week to predict what will be happening in their life for the week. And if there's anything they can do to offset the difficulties, dangers, or obstacles that will be coming their way, they will try to follow whatever the fortune teller would tell them. Some will go to a Buddhist temple regularly to perform divination with sticks. We Chinese call it chou qian, where we take a container with many bamboo sticks, and each stick would have a message engraved into it. One would hold the container with both hands and shake it until one stick drops out the container. Then that stick that drops out is the prediction. There would be an interpreter at the temple that would explain to you what the message means. American people also uses tarot cards, horoscopes, crystal balls to predict their future. People find themselves addicted to these kinds of predictions and will not do anything in life without first asking the fortune teller or do the stick predictions. In Tao, if we are a sincere cultivator, we do not need to pay a fortune teller to have our life foretold. We can change our fate just being a sincere and devoted cultivator. Follow the Tao path to perform good deeds and rid of evil. Cultivation is to pave and smooth out the Tao way. For example, our senior transmitter Jin in Happy Buddha Temple, he had seen 3 different fortune tellers in Taiwan before he received the Tao. And each one of them told him that he would pass away at the age of 57. Today, our senior transmitter Jin is strong, healthy, and he will be 98 this coming September because he's a sincere Tao cultivator and he devotes his entire life to the propagation of Tao. Therefore, senior transmitter Jin is a true example that we can change our destiny as long as we are sincere in the Tao. Sakyamuni Buddha in those days, he roamed the city and toured the 4 gates and have learned that all humans have to undergo birth, aging, sickness, and death, all these sufferings. If one is not a cultivator, before one's death, one will certainly have to go through life in accordance with the predestined karma. After one's death, one must report to the underworld. And the judgment depends on one's merits and demerits during one's lifetime. To accept the 6 paths of reincarnation, which is devas, which is the celestial beings, humans, asuras, these are people that cannot get rid of their 3 poisons, ego, jealousy, envy, etc. Then we have the animals, hungry ghosts, and ghosts in hell. If one does not cultivate and practice in the future, then their next life, they must reincarnate back to this physical realm. What is karma? This is the universal law of cause and effect. Whatever we cause, we must pay back with the result. We reap what we sow. There are many consequences to every action. If a person practices the 5 constant virtues of benevolence, which is compassion and kindness, the desire to do good to others, then they have righteousness, to do what is morally right, then propriety, that's the proper etiquette, conduct, rituals, wisdom, the innate awareness of right and wrong, that comes from our Buddha nature, and faith, that is trust, sincerity, and faith is the center of all 5 virtues. Then their faith will produce for him good fortune, wealth, dignity, longevity, and distinction. However, if a person acts contrary to these 5 constant virtues, then fate will produce for him bad luck, poverty, immorality, short life, and obscurity. There are 2 kinds of fate. We have the invisible fate, which is the source is less obvious, and therefore we cannot see them. Invisible fate, such as disasters or illnesses, always exist. Sometimes people would ask, what did I do in my past life that gives me so much suffering in this life? This is the result of karma. We are here in this physical realm all due to karma. Every human being has karma. Otherwise, we would not be reincarnated into this world. At the same time, people that want to know what his future will be can be determined by the actions and deeds he has performed in this life. Then we have the visible fate. Visible fate are immediately we can see the fate. What we cause now can result now in this lifetime. Example, we have 2 people in an argument and then fight and try to kill each other, where someone will be imprisoned for committing a crime. Then there is the delayed, deferred postponement, where the cause is in this life, and the next life will result in what they have done in this life. It depends on what we sow. Example, if we sow grapes and apples, these must take a few years to bear fruits. Planting melons will result in melons. Planting beans will result in beans. Whatever we plant will result in whatever fruits. This depends on how fast or slow it takes to bear the fruits. The Holy Teacher says, before one receives Tao, it is true to say that fate's determination will conquer a person. After one receives Tao, it can be said that a person's determination will conquer fate. One has the ability to recognize what is right and wrong, to distinguish the difference between good and evil, to recognize one's errors and transgressions and then never commit them again, to practice what is good for mankind and to avoid disasters, to expel evil habits and reveal one's good nature. Thus, one will directly influence and change his environment, and one will also reach the highest level of cultivation. Therefore, the natural results of this change will allow one to conquer fate. Most people don't understand these principles. They are plagued by worries, vexations, anger, and idleness, which will only result in illness or being sent to jail for committing crimes. 3, how to conquer fate. 1, we can make changes to our fate by self-cultivation and self-improvements. Always be grateful and repent more. We can reverse the situation little by little. When we have a grateful heart and mind, we will become a much happier person instead of searching for things that may never come our way. Just be grateful for everything we have right in front of our eyes. Our family, nothing is closer and kinder and loving than our very own family. When we are in a difficult situation and going through hardships, We can always rely on our family to help us. These are the closest people to us. They love us unconditionally, especially our parents who raised us and loved us even before we were born, who taught us everything we know. Be grateful and appreciate them. Our parents are our living Buddhas. They never asked anything from us, and yet they gave all they have to us. We can appreciate our family, including siblings, in-laws, then everything in life will go smoothly, and we will have a joyful life. When we self-cultivate and make self-improvements on ourselves, we are taking the most important step in our cultivation journey. We will be able to recognize our faults and cultivate ourselves to improve and become a person with a virtuous character, a true cultivator of Tao. 2, we should always keep a joyful heart. If we have a joyful heart, good luck and good fortune will come to us. When our fortune is running low, we tend to encounter bad things. Therefore, as long as we keep a joyful heart, a happy heart filled with Dharma, natural good things will happen around us. As long as we devote our whole heart and all our effort, God will naturally give help, even if we do not ask. However, if we do not set our feet on solid ground with sincerity, it is useless even to beg God for something. God is always fair. This not only applies to having a joyful heart, mind for ourselves, but more important for others. When we have a joyful heart, mind towards all sentient beings, it will also lift their spirits and becomes a chain reaction to all those people they will be in contact with. Be cautious of our heart and mind. Anytime we become depressed or in a very sad mood, immediately turn it around and do not keep thinking of negative thoughts that can bring us down. Turn it around, lighten up. Nothing in this world is worth for us to be so depressed. Focus on the good, not the bad. Be among people. Don't just hide in our room and get all upset and cry. Be around positive people that can lift our spirit, not to go and look for friends with the same depressed mood. That's not healthy. When we have a positive outlook in life, we will also have a healthy body. Nothing is worse than depression. Don't just sink into bed and feel sorry for ourselves. Do something about it. Use our wisdom and Buddha nature to help us. Happiness is the best medicine for illnesses. We have the 4 immeasurable minds. This is what lecturer Lu talks about in his Buddha nature class, or we call it infinite Buddha states of mind. The first one is infinite loving kindness, to give love and happiness to others. Having love and happiness in ourselves is not enough. We must share and give to others. We can change so many lives just by doing this. B, boundless compassion, mercy or pity, to save others from suffering or willing to suffer for others. Just like Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, who is well known as the goddess of mercy. When we see others suffer, we are also suffering. We can feel the pain that others have, and we are willing to take that pain away from their suffering. C, infinite equanimity or relinquishment, to yield and give up all for others. We are willing to let go and give all to others to relieve their sufferings. D, limitless or boundless happy joy, to rejoice in the welfare of others. When others are happy, we are happy. 3, many people may not know that they are living in a blessed life. If we can be content with what we have and see the good fortune surrounding us, then our life will gradually become smoother and happier. Always be content with what we have. Happiness does not rely on how much money or material goods we have. Happiness relies on what we already have. It comes from inside our own heart and mind. If we are constantly searching for material goods and try to win the lottery, if it's not meant to be, it will never happen. Even if we buy lottery tickets for life, those that won lotteries were meant to win in this life due to their past life good fortune. Therefore, be happy and live within our means. Don't go and buy thousands of dollars of brand name clothes thinking that it will make us happy by wearing these expensive clothes on our backs. It will not make us happy. The only thing it will do is create a large debt for us. Number 4, maintain good behavior. People's behavior greatly affects their destiny. If we hope to have good faith, then we should straighten out our conduct and manners. Tao cultivators should always maintain a virtuous conduct and good manners. A stranger will be able to determine the character of a true Tao cultivator just by observing their conduct and manners. Take for example, if we constantly yell and scream at others for no reason just to get what we want, what will strangers be thinking in their heart and mind of this person that is screaming and yelling at others? They will think this person has no virtue and has very bad manners, without any form of etiquette, rough on the edges. With that mindset, would this stranger like to follow us in the Tao? No, right? Temper tantrums does not equal to Tao. We are not 3-year-old toddlers that scream and yell because we did not get what we want. It just shows a very ugly side of that person. It definitely does not show we have power. On the contrary, by screaming and yelling, it only shows that we are acting like animals. We do not gain respect by doing that. We can only lose all respect from others. Remember, respect is earned, not given. Being so angry and expressing our anger in public like that, would our fate and destiny be good? Of course not. Therefore, in order to have good destiny, we must maintain good behavior. That's the only way to have a peaceful life. 5, accept our karma willingly. Be grateful and repent. Cherish the grace of heaven and blessings. Then we can terminate bad results and bear good ones. Our karmas are brought over from past lives. We all set our own karmas, so we shouldn't complain about it. Just be grateful and repent every single day for our faults. Accept it and do good deeds to offset it and not to do anything against our Buddha nature. So we will not be creating new karmas, and instead we will bear good ones. Number 6, devote ourselves to Tao. Everyone wishes for happiness and perfection, to have a good, healthy, and peaceful life. Only without commitment and sincerity in Tao will our wishes be fulfilled. When we devote ourselves to Tao, we are helping heaven do heaven's work, and good blessings will come our way. We will learn all the Tao principles and practice these principles in our daily lives. Our life will turn around because we will no longer chase after material goods, and instead we will focus our cultivations to become a virtuous person. We will devote our time in helping others rather than only ourselves. In helping others, we are also helping ourselves without even realizing, because we will be blessed. Holy Teacher says, everything is in our hands. Success or failure is in our control. What is important is to change our thoughts within. When we have a thought, change it for the better. We are immediately in heaven. Everything we need is here now. Whenever we are in despair and cannot find help from any source, we always turn to God. Do not think that God does not respond. Actually, the responses come from the people around us. When we can shoulder responsibility, God will give us a chance. We will get even more chances if we accept them without complaints or grudges. So our heart and mind is the most important thing, which will determine whether we are in heaven or the underworld. If we have a positive mindset, we will be in heaven and everything will change for the better. Therefore, what determines our success is in our own hands. Whenever we ask God for help, God always hears us. And the answer is going to God will be using the people around us to give us a helping hand. So that is when God answers us. It comes out to us naturally, so we don't even realize that. But God is always there to help us. So we must always be grateful to the grace of heaven. If we can take on more responsibilities and take it without any complaints, then God will give us more chances. Therefore, it is totally up to each individual. 4. Cultivating practices which will start to change our life, allow us to avoid disasters and turn toward blessings. If we can put our efforts to cultivate ourselves, our life can change for the better. First, we must get rid of the 3 poisons, which is greed, anger, and ignorance. This results in reincarnation. 3 poisons can only make us miserable endlessly. In order to change our life around, we have to get rid of them. We all have these 3 poisons in each one of us. Each person's degree of greed, anger, and ignorance is different. And we should recognize them when they tend to flare up. It's just a matter of controlling ourselves. Greed is to rid of greed. In order to get rid of greed, we must do charity. Giving is a form of compassion and kindness. In order to control our greed, it could be greed for money, or greed for food, or greed for power, or greed for success. Anything we want that we are not entitled to, or in excess amount, is considered greed. We must give to charity. It doesn't mean we have to give everything we own to charity. We can give what we do not need in order to help others. This will help us offset our greed by showing compassion and kindness to others. Giving can also give us joy in terms of able to help those that are less fortunate than us. Anger. To have patience and tolerance under insult to tame our temper. There's not one person in this world that doesn't have anger. We must always be aware whenever our anger starts to flare up. Use our Buddha nature to tell us to calm down inside our heart and mind in order to tame our anger. Do not scream and yell at others every time we get upset. We will lose all respect from others around us. No one likes to be yelled at. No one has the right to yell at anyone. We all came from God. We are all equal and have the same Buddha nature. Learn to have more patience and tolerance when it comes to dealing with other people. Ignorance. To let go of the ego, the I, then wisdom will be gained and ignorance vanquished. Ignorance is stubbornness. Stubbornness is when someone behaves in a way that is determined to do only what they want and not willing to change their mind. We have to learn to let go of our ego. Not everything is only about us all the time. A stubborn person is close-minded, refusing to compromise, rejecting others' ideas more. Being firm is never an excuse to be rude or mean to others. Be flexible and yield to others. Sometimes when we are flexible, we may find out that others' ideas or suggestions are better, especially if the majority of the people agree. Do not commit the 10 evils. The 10 evils are killing, refrain from taking life, not killing any living beings, which includes eating meat, killing of insects, etc. Theft, refrain from taking what is not given. Do not steal. Lust, refrain from the misuse of senses, not having too much sensual pleasure, having a strong sexual desire. Boasting, excessive bragging about self, gossiping, talking about others behind their back, stirring up trouble between people, say or do things to make friends hate each other, using abusive language, insults, and harmful, hurtful words, using profanity, cursing at other people. The three poisons which we just reviewed, the greed, anger, and ignorance, and having evil thoughts, thoughts that would hurt and harm others. We need to be brave to rid of the evils, conduct good deeds. B, to guard the five disciplines of no killing, no stealing, no lust, no lying, and no intoxicants such as drugs and alcohol. C, to conform to the five constant virtues: benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and faith. Whether our life will produce good or bad fortune, blessings or disasters, wealth or poverty, longevity or short life, will all depend on how we cultivate. As Holy Teacher has said, our life or destiny is in our own hands. What we do and say, our actions, our conduct will determine whether we are in heaven or the underworld. We are all given this choice. Which road we choose to walk on will all depend on each one of us individually. Whether we cultivate ourselves based on the Tao principles or we choose to take the other road will be all up to us. No one can force us to take the right road. It is a decision that we all have to make, a decision that will determine our destiny. Buddhas do good deeds in secret and they do not do evil. They bear happiness and do not have worries. Buddhas also does what benefits sentient beings and not others. We should all follow the ways of the Buddhas. Holy Teacher says, after we receive Tao, we must go further to cultivate. Cultivation has 7 steps. These 7 steps is the shortcut to becoming a Buddha and also a way to accumulate merits and establish virtues. First step is vegetarian. Some people ask, as long as we have a good heart and mind, why do we need to be a vegetarian? Holy Teacher says, actually, being a vegetarian has nothing to do with whether our heart and mind is good or bad, but to understand the law of cause and effect, a healthy body and the question of whether we want to become a Buddha. Nothing is more dirty and filthy than eating meat in this world. Nothing is more unkind and cruel than taking an animal life. Animals that eat meat are certainly more fierce and malicious compared to animals that eat grass, are more gentle and kind-hearted. All vegetables and fruits in our body is to treat illnesses. From a physiology aspect, it is to prevent diseases. From a psychology aspect, it is to remove illnesses. Vegetarian is encouraged and recommended in many countries. Lecturer Liu from the Buddha Nature class says, the cemeteries are to bury dead bodies. When we eat the meat of animals, our stomach becomes the cemetery. 2, bring people to receive Tao. Holy Teacher says, this is a deed and action of the sages, men of virtue, heart mind of a bodhisattva. This takes skill and effort to be in touch with the people, to be sensitive to one's needs. This is an capability to inform exactly as a living Buddha, like a hero. To bring people to receive Tao is what every cultivator should do. Therefore, to bring people in to receive Tao is like being a lifeguard in a sea of suffering. It is also the ladder to fulfill our vows. Knowing how great this and precious this Tao is, we must share it with our family and friends by bringing them into the temple to receive the Tao. So everyone will have this opportunity to transcend from this world of suffering. We all took vows in heaven before we came back into this physical realm. Our mission in this world is to save sentient beings from this endless cycle of reincarnation. So by bringing others into the Tao, it is also given us an opportunity to fulfill our vows. 3, to be a lecturer. Holy Teacher says, to examine the true principles is humanity's highest hope. To propagate, spread true principles is humanity's sacred duty. Is humanity's sacred duty, responsibility. Therefore, lecturers are heaven Tao salesmen, a nanny for sentient beings, a minister of the gospel, sweet spring water of a boundless desert and wilderness, a guide or a guidebook for the wrong path, and a cook for a quick food. The benefits of being a lecturer is to enhance and promote character, moral quality, integrity, dignity, to raise and improve Tao educations, cultivate eloquence, usually help and assist humans to be good and virtuous, to change abusive mouth into good words. So being a lecturer will help heaven teach sentient beings all the Tao principles to help them cultivate themselves to become a person of virtue and perform good deeds. Therefore, everyone should study diligently to learn and help others to learn, to practice and cultivate and help others to practice and cultivate, so everyone can have a chance to return to God. Number 4, establish a temple. Holy Teacher says, a temple is heaven's place of introduction, an office of the 3 realms, a place to learn and improve to be a Buddha, a place to practice and cultivate to attain enlightenment, a gas station for merits in the Western countries, a station for emergency relief for sentient beings' character, personality, and temperament, a university to cultivate or nurture our moral character, a shelter to avoid many calamities, Buddha's happy place, a quiet place to abandon of thoughts. To set up a temple in our home, it doesn't need to require a large space or a separate room. If we can give up a small section of our living room to set up a home temple, it can help us to save sentient beings, and it will be a blessed place, a place to get away from calamities, a safe haven for all sentient beings. Number 5, propagate Tao. Plant seeds to bring Tao to other areas that has not yet been disseminated. Holy Teacher says, propagate Tao is being God's messenger, a farmer to sow the seeds. A skillful doctor will save people in places or areas that are behind the times. A good farmer will turn wasteland, uncultivated land into good, fertile farmland. A person of integrity will take the Gospels and spread to each and every corner. Out of the 7 stages of cultivation, this is the most extraordinary, most difficult to attain, and the most valuable and remarkable. To propagate the Tao to other areas of the world where they have not yet heard of the Tao, and to spread it to these parts of the world. This is the highest form of merit, because we are saving sentient beings in areas where they would have been lost if they did not learn of the Tao. Number 6, to be a talented person, a person of ability. Holy Teacher says, within the 7 stages, this is the most important. This is known as to give service to sentient beings. This is the most glorious, most honored. It is moral and ethics work. To serve is happiness. To help temple in all Tao affairs whenever we are needed. Number 7, 3 forms of charity or giving. In Sanskrit, it's called dana. And it is one of the 6 parameters. 6 parameters are 6 ways in which Bodhisattvas liberate not only themselves, but also others from the pain and suffering of birth and death, and to reach the state of nirvana, to become enlightened. The other 5 parameters are precepts, forbearance, diligence, meditation, and wisdom. We should cultivate the virtue of charity to get rid of meanness, knowing that giving will help us to eliminate our greedy and stingy state of mind, to achieve infinite blessing and virtue. The giver should forget what he has given. Most people are afraid no one knows what they have done good. No one knows that they have done good deeds. Heaven knows, and that's what it counts. However, to give anonymously will be the greatest donation with unlimited value. There are 3 types of donations. One is monetary donation. That includes cash, assets, properties, and other goods to give and to benefit other people. In giving, we do not have to acknowledge to others that we gave so much in donations. It'll be like we want to be recognized for our contributions and want everyone to know about it. Then there will be a motive in our giving. The best kind of giving is to give anonymously. Then the donation is unlimited, not limited to the amount that we are giving. The donation will be limitless. It's not important that others know what we give. It is more important that heaven recognizes it. We should always be grateful that we are so fortunate to be working with a job and not having to worry about feeding our families and living with a roof over our heads and in a good environment. We should all be very grateful. Be grateful to the grace of heaven and the virtues of the masters for watching over us. By being grateful, we should all try to give back to those in need. Give what we can to help sentient beings. Number 2 is the donation of Dharma, teaching others about that. Anything we can do to give to help others build up their confidence in Tao. Talk to others about Tao at any appropriate time, whenever opportunity arises, to help them realize and be aware of our Buddha nature. Holy Teacher says, to ferry people is a work of charity. It is the conduct of a sage or saint and the heart of a Bodhisattva. The advantages of being a preacher can improve one's personality, enhance one's good qualities, improve one's eloquence, benefit mankind, help people to do good deeds in daily life and business, and can change malicious words into kind words. Number 3 is the donation of time and effort. To serve in the sanctuary is the simplest kind of work. To have a compassionate heart and mind, to help sentient beings, to reduce others' suffering, worries, anxieties. These are all considered as donation of time and effort. These are the 7 stages, and it is this shortcut to becoming a Buddha, and also a way to accumulate merits and establish virtues. Holy Teacher says, from now on, we cannot make excuses for ourselves. Bad habits have to be uprooted and swept away in order to have good contents manifested. To vigorously cross adverse circumstances, then we will have the ability to learn the skills, to endure the tests, to take on large responsibility and assignments. Life's journey is full of hardships. To temper oneself, self-discipline, it's a test and also an unavoidable karma. We must get rid of our bad temper and bad habits in order to make the change for the better and take on bigger responsibilities and pass all the tests that heaven gives us. Zhuangzi says, I originally did not wish to be born. All of a sudden, I'm born. I originally did not wish for death, and suddenly my death day has arrived. Therefore, life is not permanent. Don't find an excuse for ourselves and stop this great opportunity to cultivate. Today, we have this good fortune to be able to recognize this great Tao, to first receive and then cultivate. It's due to the virtues of our ancestors, due to the cultivation of our past lives. To have this great affinity, we should cherish this well, to seriously practice and to cultivate the Tao. Holy Teacher says, life in this world is a short time. We have to go through a full and happy life. To guard our heart mind, cultivation is our life middle link. It is to find our life's true direction. It is also a fixed point. When we encounter unfavorable circumstances, cultivation will be the best breakthrough power. To turn bad luck into good fortune is the benefit of Tao cultivation. When we live, we should strive for opportunities to create our destiny. It is better to strive for the welfare of all living creatures instead of seeking for our own peace. Then we will be more peaceful and safer. Through cultivation, we can turn our life around from misfortunes to good blessings. We should do our utmost to help all sentient beings instead of only our own inner peace. Then our life will become much more peaceful and safe. Holy Teacher says, cultivation in life is an inseparable homework. By means of cultivation, it allows us to truly understand the meaning of life. Therefore, listening to Heaven's Tao, to be born, we have to admire Tao in our heart mind, cultivate in our heart mind, cultivate one's moral character, cultivate one's mind. It is also to return to our original nature. Tao is to raise one's hand. To trust and have faith in cultivation in life will allow us to know and recognize the true principles to let our life be even more beautiful. In conclusion, Holy Teacher says, I cannot guarantee your lives. Life and death all depend on your thoughts. Why do so many people fail to stay away from calamities? Always keep good thoughts in your mind, and you will naturally be harmonious and peaceful. Then Buddhas will surely surround you everywhere. Buddhas cannot give us a good life that only depend on our own inner thoughts. Always maintain good thoughts in our heart and mind. Then our life will be very peaceful. Holy Teacher says, a person's merit has the power to allow one someday to go back to heaven, and one's unpublicized good deeds have the power to change one's predestined life. Having merits and virtues will be able to change our destiny. There is the publicized good deeds, and that is called doing yang good deeds. That's the visible good deeds. The repayment of yang good deeds is to gain fame. Then we have the unpublicized good deeds. That is called doing yin good deeds, invisible good deeds. The repayment of yin good deeds will be given by God, and that will be blessings. When one requests for good fortune and blessing, nothing is better than to abstain from meat and wine. Request for longevity. Nothing is better than not to kill and to free the animals that's already been captive. Request for peace. Nothing is better than to leave quarrels and disputes. To self-reflect daily and always maintain a quiet and calm heart and mind. Request for intelligence. That's wisdom. Nothing is better than to learn widely and listen broadly. Holy Teacher says, wisdom is the ability to realize one's own mission in life and to awaken from the phenomenal world. If a person enlightens himself, he can then free himself from the entanglement of karma. But when a person gets confused about his fate's goal, then his life will be arranged by fate. Holy teacher says, to purify one's mouth can cause the karma from one's previous birth to cease and enable one to be a freed Buddha. 2. To ferry or guide people to the way of heaven can help remove the sentient beings from the bitterness of life and enable one to be a lenient Buddha, a compassionate Buddha. 3. To be a preacher can help others cease doubting about Tao and make them have faith in Tao and enable one to be a wise Buddha. 4. To set up a sanctuary can form a good affinity with all sentient beings, enable one to be an auspicious Buddha, that's a favorable Buddha. 5. To be a pioneer for Tao can spread Tao to different places in the world and enable one to be a Buddha of meritorious virtues. 6. To work and serve people in the sanctuary can make one modest and humble, work with one's full effort, and enable one to be a vivacious Buddha, that's a lively Buddha. Okay. Now, there's a story of this man that I'm going to shortly cover, which is called the story of the 30,000 gold coins. There was this man who worked very hard in his life so he can save money for retirement. He has saved 30,000 gold coins, considered lots of money in ancient times. So he also owned many properties, land, and other treasures. He planned to enjoy his life after he retires. However, he suddenly sees the death spirit coming for him. He was not ready to go. He didn't even get to enjoy his fortune at all. So he started to negotiate with the death spirit. He offered 1/3 of his treasures to trade for 3 days of life. The death spirit said no. He then offered 20,000 gold coins to trade for 2 days of life. The death spirit says no. Then he offered 30,000 gold coins for 1 day of life. The death spirit says no. Finally, he asked if he can leave a few words for humans, and the death spirit agreed. He bit his finger and used his own blood to write a note for humans. And his note was, humans must cherish every moment of time in life. So the moral of this story is, no matter how much we have, we cannot bring anything with us. We should not waste our life and time and chase after fame and fortune. No matter how hard it was to earn your money, we will only leave this world empty-handed. Greed makes one blind. We can't see any truth. Greed for own benefit. The principle is simple. Human gets influenced by this material world will forever be caught in this world of reincarnation. Okay, I would like to conclude this class with 2 short videos on Tom Shadyac. Some of you may have heard of him, some may not. He is a very successful American director, a screenwriter, a producer, and an author. He made movies such as Bruce Almighty, Liar Liar, The Nutty Professor, Ace Ventura, Dragonfly, and many, many more. He has everything that every person would dream of having. A 17,000 square foot mansion with 2 other side houses on a 7-acre property in Pasadena, California. He has private jets, cars, etc. He was worth close to $50 million. In 2006, he had the world at his fingers until September of 2007. He had a near fatal accident on his bicycle in Virginia. And after that, he suffered extreme concussion, a very bad concussion experience that gave him a prolonged period of acute headaches that put his life in misery. So this lasted approximately 6 months. When he finally recovered, he realized that with all his fortune, he's not a happy person. And he felt that he doesn't need so much. So he downsized. He sold everything he owned and gave a larger amount of his fortune to charity and moved from a 17,000 square foot mansion into a trailer home where he can talk and establish friendships with all his neighbors. So today, Tom Shadyac moved from his Malibu trailer home in California to Memphis, Tennessee, about 5 years ago. So today he's 64. He has established himself as a teacher, a mentor, a riverboat homeowner, a distributor of free bicycles, an employer, an investor in the economically disadvantaged Soulsville neighborhood. He has become a much happier person, free of his attachments. This proves to us that money cannot buy happiness. Happiness is in our own heart and mind, and the good deeds we can do for all sentient beings. Sakyamuni Buddha says, an over-attachment to the material world and its pleasures is at the root of all human suffering. The quality of our life doesn't depend on our clothes, car, or home, but on how peaceful and joyful we are. If we wish to change our destiny, it is all up to us. We do not have to let our karmas dictate our life. We can cultivate ourselves to change our life for the better. Life is very short. Do what we can when we still have this physical body to perform by accumulating merits and establishing virtues. Don't waste our life away. And when we leave this world, we will regret it. So this concludes my class. If I have said anything wrong or I did not cover this topic well enough, I ask God and all the saints and Buddhas for their forgiveness. And I ask for corrections from transmitters and lecturer. Thank you, everyone.